Robert Perry was described as everyone's father. He was one of more than a dozen kids and started working at the age of 14 to help his mom support all the others. He took care of everyone else for the rest of his life, including his grandchildren and great-grandchildren. He was excited to meet his newest great-grandchild before he was killed. His granddaughter went into labor on the day of his memorial. Perry, Lindsay, and Atkins' paths crossed accidentally on March 11, 2014. Atkins and Lindsay were running short on cash and decided to get a gun and commit a robbery. They also switched license plates on a vehicle they found at the mall that looked similar to the one they'd been driving. All they needed was a victim, and they went to the Walmart and picked out Robert Perry and his stepdaughter. Perry had undergone a cancer treatment that day. He then did what he always did and took care of his stepdaughter, helping her look at a used car at Walmart. Perry and his stepdaughter didn't buy the car. Instead, they left. Atkins and Lindsay then get into their vehicle and force Perry to hit their car, cutting him off on rainy roads. The pair then get out of their vehicle, walk up to the side of the vehicle Rob Perry was on, and stick a revolver in the window and demand his wallet. But Perry tried to grab the revolver through the window when Atkins demanded his stepdaughter's money. As Perry told his stepdaughter to run, 3 shots were fired. Perry was hit and dropped. Atkins then reportedly took the wallet while Perry was laying there dying. Atkins and Lindsay then got back into their vehicle and took off down a dead-end street and made it 2 miles before the car ended up stuck into a mud puddle. There they were apprehended in the woods by Mobile County Sheriff's deputies. In court, Perry's family told the jury what kind of a man he was. The kind that would help his family even when he was exhausted from cancer treatment. Atkins and Lindsay were both charged with capital murder. One of the 22-year-old suspects that killed Perry wasn't from Mobile. She was from Michigan. It doesn't get more specific than that, because she was moved around over and over again by her mother as a child, who admitted in court testimony that she'd failed her daughter. Shanette, the mother of Soraya, had her when she was only 19 years of age. Her parents were livid. They sent Shanette to a relative's home and then got her an apartment to have Soraya. Shanette's family was well educated. Her friends were lawyers, and her sister had a successful marriage to a coach with the Chicago Bears. And at 19, she was a teenage mother in a family that did not accept this kind of thing. After many failed attempts, Soraya's mother tried to get her the help she needed until she was 18 and met a boy, moved out of her home, and moved to Mobile, Alabama. Soraya's defense attorneys argued that she was robbed before she robbed Perry, and she needed money for her power bill and her rent. Before the courts wrapped things up and sentenced Soraya Atkins and Kimberly Lindsay, they allowed the brother of the victim, Terry Perry, to speak, saying, quote, "He was a good fella. He'd do anything for you, help you in any way he can." Mr. Perry went on to say, the circumstances of Robert Perry's death was tragic for both families, but that he's clear on what he feels should happen if Atkins and Lindsay are convicted. He said, quote, "I think they should be hung just like they did in the old days," end quote. In conclusion, Sarai Atkins was sentenced to life in prison for her role in the 2014 robbery and murder of 66-year-old Robert Perry, as well as Kimberly Lindsay, who was sentenced to just 25 years for her role in 2014 robbery and murder of Mr. Robert Perry.
Are you a killer?
Are you a killer?
Did you shoot?
Did you shoot?
Did you know this guy had a family?
Did you know this guy had a family?
Man, y'all get the up out my face. That's what y'all can do.
No one lost his life here.
Okay.
Why
Did you
you
lose yours? Obviously not. You stealing my face.
Why are you being so defensive about it?
Cause y'all in my face with lights and camera. What the you mean why I'm being so